Cyclone Tauktae turns into extremely severe cyclonic storm. Cyclonic storm likely to hit Gujarat coast today evening and to cross Gujarat coast between Porbandar and Mahua Bhavnagar district during the night. Union Home Minister Amit Shah chairs meeting with affected states by Cyclone Tauktae, reviews the preparedness of all health facilities in the area likely to be impacted by the cyclone. Indian Coast Guard, Navy, Army and Air Force units have also been put on standby, and surveillance aircraft and helicopters are carrying out aerial sorties. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Union Health Minister jointly released the first batch of anti-COVID drug 2DG via video conferencing. The drug has been developed by DRDO's Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences in collaboration with Dr. Reddy's labs. Recoveries outnumber daily new COVID cases yet again. More than 3,78,000 recoveries registered in the last 24 hours. Fatality rate stands at 1.1%, over 18.29 crore vaccine doses administered so far. India expresses strong condemnation of all acts of violence at UNSC open debate on the situation in Middle East. India urges immediate de-escalation, reiterates support to just Palestinian cause and commitment to two-state solution. And in sports, in tennis, Rafael Nadal clinches his 10th Italian Open title. Nadal defeats world number 1 Djokovic in 3-set battle in Rome. Good morning, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of the news. Our top story first. The first batch of anti-COVID drug 2DG developed by DRDO was to be released by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh along with Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Defence Minister handed over the anti-COVID drug 2DG to Union Health Minister, and Health Minister handed over the anti-COVID drug 2DG to Delhi AIIMS Director Dr. Randeep Guleria. An anti-COVID-13 therapeutic application of the drug 2DG has been developed by DRDO, its Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences, that is in Mass, in collaboration with Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Hyderabad. The Drugs Controller General of India has approved the oral drug for emergency use as an adjunct therapy in moderate to severe COVID-positive patients. The clinical trials of the drug 2DG showed that it helps in faster recovery of the hospitalized patients and also reduces supplemental oxygen dependence. The approval of the drug has come at a time when India is facing second wave of the pandemic that has stretched the country's healthcare infrastructure to its limit.
ड्रग जिसका यह इजाद हुआ है, यह आशा और उम्मीद की एक नई किरण लेकर आया है। यानी हमारे देश के सामने यदि बड़ा से बड़ा चैलेंज आए तो हमारे वैज्ञानिकों के अंदर वह क्षमता है, वह ताकत है कि उसका मुकाबला वह कर सकते हैं। और जो यह ड्रग का इजाद किया गया है, मैं समझता हूं कि हमारे देश के वैज्ञानिकों की एक जो साइंटिफिक कैपेबिलिटी है, उसकी भी एक मिसाल है, उसका भी एक उदाहरण है।
मिलिट्री हॉस्पिटल्स में भी आपको जानकर खुशी हुई होगी, समाचार पत्रों में आपने पढ़ा होगा कि यह भी व्यवस्था कर दी गई है कि सिविलियंस का भी वहां पर इलाज हो सकता है। और मेरी जानकारी है कि कई मिलिट्री हॉस्पिटल जहां पर पहले सिविलियंस का इलाज नहीं होता था और मिलिट्री हॉस्पिटल में बहुत ही अच्छी तरह उन सिविलियंस का भी इलाज हो रहा है। लेकिन यह सब कुछ जो हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के द्वारा किया जा रहा है इस चैलेंज को मीट आउट करने की, लेकिन साथ ही साथ सीमा पर से हमारा ध्यान हटा नहीं। सीमा पर जो हमारी तैयारियां हैं वो तैयारियां यथावत हमारी हैं, हम बराबर हमारी नजर उसके ऊपर भी रहती है और इस काम को भी हम साथ ही साथ कर रहे हैं।
Speaking on the occasion, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said that the new anti-COVID drug 2DG is one of its kind indigenously developed research-based drug which will reduce the recovery time and also oxygen dependency.
भारत के वैज्ञानिकों के द्वारा DRDO के सहयोग से हमारे आदरणीय राजनाथ सिंह जी के नेतृत्व में ये शायद हमारी पहली इंडिजिनस रिसर्च के आउटकम के तहत दवा है जो सीधे सीधे कोविड के वायरस के प्रकोप को पूरे वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण से कम करने का पूरा पोटेंशियल रखती है।
Up next, to take a look at the COVID-19 situation from across the country. According to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, COVID recoveries have outnumbered the daily new COVID cases yet again. More than 3,78,000 recoveries have been registered in the last 24 hours, while active cases declined by 55,344. Recovery rate stands at 84.81%. Total COVID cases in the country are 2,81,386 in the last 24 hours. Fatalities reported in the last 24 hours stood at 4,186. Fatality rate stands at 1.1%. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country stands at 18 crore 29 lakh 26,460. 14 crore 11 lakh 47,770 beneficiaries have received their first dose of the vaccine, and 4 crore 17 lakh 78,690 have received their second dose of the vaccine. As on day 121 of the drive, that is yesterday, a total of 6,91,211 vaccine doses were given. 6,14,286 beneficiaries were vaccinated for the first dose, and 76,925 beneficiaries received the second dose of the vaccine in the last 24 hours. More than 20 crore vaccine doses were provided to states and union territories free of cost by the Government of India. More than 1.84 crore doses are still available with states and union territories that need to be administered. Nearly 51 lakh doses in addition will be received by states and union territories in the next 3 days. India continues to put up a strong fight against the pandemic. The country continues its mass-scale COVID-19 testing drive. As per the ICMR, 15,73,515 samples were tested on May 16th, taking the cumulative total to 31 crore 64,23,658. Overcoming all hurdles and finding new solutions, Indian Railways is continuing its journey of bringing relief by delivering liquid medical oxygen to various states across the country. So far, the Indian Railways has delivered more than 9,440 metric tons of liquid medical oxygen in nearly 590 tankers to various states across the country. Nearly 150 oxygen expresses have completed their journey so far. 12 loaded oxygen expresses are on run with more than 970 MT of liquid medical oxygen in 55 tankers. Southern states of Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu got a big boost in the oxygen supply, with several oxygen expresses delivering their loads recently. Incidentally, NCR region crossed the delivery of more than 5,000 MT of oxygen for further distribution. Also, oxygen expresses have been delivering nearly 800 MT of liquid medical oxygen to the nation each day for the past few days. Indian Railways continue to deliver the much needed aid to the country amidst this testing time during the pandemic. In this series, another oxygen express train arrived in Bareilly this morning. The train originated from Bokaro carrying 49.7 MT of oxygen. Getting your other news, in Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists were killed in the ongoing encounter at Khanmo area of Srinagar. The incident took place in the wee hours today when a gunfight broke out between terrorists and security forces in Khanmo area of Srinagar outskirts. Also, security forces have cordoned off the area and search operations are underway. The cyclonic storm Taute has further intensified into an extremely severe cyclonic storm at 12 at night and lay centered at 18.5 north, 71.5 east with a ragged eye. As per the latest satellite observation at 7:30 this morning, extremely severe cyclonic storm Taute now lays centered at 18.6 north, 71.6 east with a ragged eye. Cyclonic storm is very likely to move north-northwestward and reach Gujarat coast today evening and also cross Gujarat coast between Porbandar and Mahua, Bhavnagar district during early hours tomorrow. Earlier, Cyclone Taute wreaked havoc in coastal areas of Kerala, Karnataka and Goa. Heavy rains battered some 6 districts of Karnataka in a single day. 4 people were killed in Karnataka, 2 people died in Kerala due to the storms and 2 died in Goa rains. Rescue and relief teams of the NDRF, Army, Navy, Coast Guard along with ships and aircraft and various state agencies have been deployed to minimize the damage. A nowcast warning has been issued in Maharashtra. Moderate to intense spells of rain with gusty winds reaching 90 to 100 kilometers per hour is likely to occur at isolated places in the districts of Raigad, Palghar, Mumbai, Thane and Ratnagiri during the next 3 hours. Meanwhile, Mumbai Airport has suspended the flight operations from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is a notification from CSMIA Airport, Mumbai, due to the cyclone alert. Maharashtra too was bracing up for the storm as heavy to very heavy rains at isolated places in North Konkan, Mumbai, Thane and Palghar and extremely heavy rainfall in Raigad on Monday is expected. Mumbai Airport operations needed to be closed. In line with the warning against the cyclone, BMC has cancelled the vaccination drive at all places today. The 3-day vaccination walk-in drive of BMC shall now commence from Tuesday and will continue till Thursday. Continuing with the preparation for Cyclone Taute, the Indian Air Force on Sunday had deployed 2 C-130J and 1 AN-32 aircraft for transportation of 167 personnel and 16.5 tons of load for NDRF from Kolkata to Ahmedabad. An AN-32 is en route to Ahmedabad as of now. Another C-130J and 2 AN-32 aircrafts carried 121 NDRF personnel and 11.6 tons of load from Vijayawada to Ahmedabad for the same purpose. Also, 2 C-130J aircrafts transported 110 personnel and 15 tons of cargo for NDRF from Pune to Ahmedabad. In a spirit of goodwill and solidarity for India, the international community is supporting efforts by Government of India to combat the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. India has been receiving international donations and aid of COVID-19 relief medical supplies and equipment since 27th of April 2021 from different countries and organizations to augment its efforts. The Government of India is expeditiously delivering global aid to states and union territories to supplement their resources and efforts. More than 11,000 oxygen concentrators, nearly 13,500 oxygen cylinders, 19 oxygen generation plants, more than 7,500 ventilators have been received so far. Effective immediate allocation and streamlined delivery to the recipient states and union territories and institutions is an ongoing exercise. The Union Health Ministry is comprehensively monitoring this on a regular basis. A dedicated coordinated cell has been created in the Union Health Ministry to coordinate the receipt and allocation of foreign COVID aid and grants and also donations. Now, this cell started functioning from 26th of April this year. A standard operating procedure has also been framed and implemented by the Health Ministry since 2nd of May. Portals of Kedarnath Temple opened today at 5 a.m. following a religious ceremony. Devotees could not attend the opening ceremony, but arrangements were made for them to have online darshan. Precautions have been taken in view of the COVID-19 pandemic surge, and due to the suspension of Char Dham Yatra, devotees will be able to visit all the 4 dhams, including Badrinath and Kedarnath, virtually. Devotees can also have online darshan. India has expressed deep concern at the spread of violence in West Bank and Gaza and urged both the sides to show extreme restraint. India's ambassador to the United Nations, T.S. Tirumurti, called for resuming direct dialogue and creating conducive conditions for it, emphasizing that immediate de-escalation is the need of the hour.
We reiterate our strong condemnation of all acts of violence, provocation, incitement, and destruction. Immediate de-escalation is the need of the hour, so as to arrest any further slide towards the brink. We urge both sides to show extreme restraint, desist from actions that exacerbate tensions, and refrain from attempts to unilaterally change the existing status quo, including in East Jerusalem and its neighborhood.
Speaking at the United Nations Security Council session on the ongoing Israel-Palestine escalating situation, India's ambassador reiterated India's strong support to the just Palestinian cause and also its unwavering commitment to the two-state solution at the UNSC.
We support the diplomatic efforts of the Quartet and other members of the international community, the countries in the region in particular, to calm the situation and put an end to the ongoing violence and seek to achieve durable peace. These incidents have once again underscored the need for immediate resumption of dialogue between Israel and Palestinian authorities. The absence of direct and meaningful negotiations between the parties is widening the trust deficit between the parties. This will only increase the chances for similar escalation in the future. We believe that every effort should be made to create conducive conditions for resumption of talks between Israel and Palestine. In conclusion, I reiterate India's strong support to the just Palestinian cause and its unwavering commitment to the two-state solution.
The tensions between Israel and Palestine have refused to die down as the hostilities between the two nations have entered into a second week. The night skies over Gaza were lit up as militants launched rockets at the southern Israeli cities of Beersheba and Ashkelon. Israeli planes also launched dozens of airstrikes. The Israeli military said a Hamas intelligence complex was among the targets. Over the last few hours, Israeli Air Force fighter jets and aircraft struck 9 residences belonging to Hamas terror organization high-ranking commanders in the Gaza Strip. The residences that were struck were used as terror infrastructure. Some of the residences were used to store weapons. The residence of Beit Hanun battalion commander and the residence of a company commander in the Sabara battalion and Shati battalion are among the Hamas terror organization commanders' residences that were struck. The rocket attacks and violence have so far killed 197 people in Gaza, including 58 children and 34 women, while 10 people, including 2 children, have been killed in Israel. Meanwhile, protests continued in various cities of the world demanding the end of violence. Thousands of Jordanians, most of them of Palestinian origin, took to the streets of the capital, Amman, on Sunday. The protesters demanded the Kingdom of Jordan to scrap its peace deal with Israel. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for an immediate end to fighting between the two sides, calling the hostilities in Gaza and Israel as utterly appalling. Speaking at a Security Council meeting on the current situation in the West Asia, the UN Secretary General said that the UN is actively engaging all sides to reach a solution.
We meet today amid the most serious escalation in Gaza and Israel in years. The current hostilities are utterly appalling. This latest round of violence only perpetuates the cycles of death, destruction and despair, and pushes farther to the horizon any hopes of coexistence and peace. Fighting must stop. It must stop immediately. I appeal to all parties to heed this call. The United Nations is actively engaging all sides towards an immediate ceasefire. The hostilities have already caused unconscionable death, immense suffering, and damage to vital infrastructure.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Sunday held talks with key counterparts influential in the Middle East as the United States seeks to de-escalate deadly clashes between Israel and the Palestinians. Blinken, who was en route to Denmark at the start of a week of diplomacy focused on the Arctic, spoke by phone to officials in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt and France. After Iran, Qatar is seen as having the greatest influence on Hamas militant group. The calls followed the deadliest day yet in the nearly week-long flare-up as Israeli strikes killed 42 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and as the UN Security Council held a virtual meeting amid global alarm over the conflict. Egypt on Sunday opened its Rafah border crossing a day before it was earlier planned to allow the passage from Gaza for students, people needing medical treatment and other humanitarian cases. 3 buses carrying around 263 people crossed the border, which was earlier due to open on Monday after Eid al-Fitr holiday. Egypt has been picking up the wounded people since the tensions escalated between Israel and Palestine last week. Egypt has so far sent 16 ambulances to pick up the injured, most of whom had suffered serious injuries that required immediate surgical procedures. In sports, Rafael Nadal warmed up for the French Open with a battling 7-5, 1-6, 6-3 win over world number 1 Novak Djokovic as the Spaniard claimed a record-extending 10th Italian Open title in Rome. After a mid-match wobble, Nadal turned up the heat in the decisive moments of his 57th meeting with top seed Djokovic to secure the victory over the defending champion in 2 hours 49 minutes. Nadal broke to go ahead 6-5 in a tight opening set and staved off a late comeback attempt from Djokovic to take the early advantage in the contest with a searing inside-out forehand that caught the Serbian off guard. But Djokovic pounced in the second set to race ahead 5-1 as Spaniard's intensity dropped and quickly levelled the match at 1 set apiece. Second seed Nadal then saved 2 break points at 2 each in the decider and fired an emphatic shot down the line to hold before switching gears to complete the win and match Djokovic's record of 36 ATP Masters titles. Nadal will now target a 14th French Open crown when the clay court Grand Slam begins on May 30th. And French Open champion Iga Swiatek served a warning to her rivals ahead of the clay court Grand Slam with a 6-0, 6-0 demolition of world number 1 Carolina Pliskova in the Italian Open final. Swiatek's third title overall following triumphs at Roland Garros and Adelaide came on the back of one of the most dominant performances of the 19-year-old's career as she dropped only 13 points against the Czech, who was the 2019 Rome champion. It was also the first doubles bagel in the first of the Rome tournament and the most one-sided since Hungary's Andrea Temeswari beat American Bonnie Gadusek for 6-1, 6-0 in 1983. An unbelievable header from Alison Becker gave Liverpool a win which keeps them in the hunt for a top 4 finish and Champions League spot. Goalkeeper Alisson scored a last-gasp winner to boost Liverpool's chances of Champions League qualification with a 2-1 win at West Brom. Liverpool's goalkeeper Alison Becker conceded the team's victory through a header in the 95th minute. Now, this is the first time in Liverpool club's 129-year history that a goalkeeper has scored for the team, while it is the 6th time in Premier League history when a goalkeeper scored a goal. Liverpool are currently ranked 5th in the league and are 1 point behind 4th placed Chelsea. That's it in this edition of News this hour. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.